Abram came up from Egypt into the land of Canaan, into the land of Israel. You always come up according to biblical language. Even if you come from the Himalayas or from Switzerland, from high mountains, you always come up into the land of Canaan and especially into Jerusalem. So Abram came up from Egypt, he and his wife and all that belonged to him, and Lot with him into the Negev. Abram was very rich, very heavy, very weighty in livestock, silver and gold. And he went on his trips from the Negev in the south, where it is desert, as far as Beit El, which is in the center of the country, up to the place where his tent had been in the beginning, between Beit El and Ai. Up to the place where he had made an altar at the first, near Shechem, near Nablus today. And there Abram called upon the name of the Lord. And also Lot, who went with Abram, had sheep, cattle, and tents. Now in the language here, the rabbis discovered that something has changed from verse 1 to verse 5. It's just two letters, and both are translated with the little word with in English, but they're written differently in Hebrew. And the rabbis say we see here that the attitude of Lot towards Abram slowly but surely changes. And now it says in verse 6, but the land was not able to tolerate both of them together, for their possessions were immense, that they could not dwell together. Twice here appears the word together, and the Hebrew original signifies something that means a togetherness, a unity. And this unity is getting lost. Today, in this country, many more people live as at the time of Abram, and still the land obviously is able to support them. Look what the Bible tells us here in between the lines very clearly is that if people live together, it's not a question of limited space. It's a question of their spiritual condition, and it is especially a question of their relationship to each other. So we see slowly in the text here that the relationship between Abram and Lot deteriorates. And it says now that developed a strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. And then it says, and furthermore, the Canaanites and the Perizzites were dwelling in the land at that time. It's very interesting. The land cannot bear brothers who quarrel. And if that happens, that the brothers are not living in unity anymore, then all of a sudden the original inhabitants become very important. What is also interesting here in this whole story is that in the quarrel between the brothers, the rights of existence and especially also ownership of the original inhabitants is never questioned. They're out of the equation. And what happens now, the Bible just tells us, is that the one to whom the land was promised, he comes up and he is the one who says, I offer to you the land. It's very interesting. Pay attention to that. They could have come and quarreled and said, now we drive out the indigenous people, the Perizzites, the Canaanites, whoever is there. We need more land. It's not even a discussion. Or Abram could have told Lot, you go out. No, it's Abram who is our example, who is able to give up what the Lord has promised to him, or part of it. Abram said to Lot, let there not be strife between you and me, and between your herdsmen and my herdsmen, for we are brothers. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourselves from me. If you turn left, I will go to the right. If you turn right, I will go to the left. Now again, The Bible just reports, and you pray about it, you make about your conclusions. There's a rabbi who said as long as Abram thought to share the land, God did not speak with him. And it's true, it just tells us that there was no involvement of God. He let Abram make and go his way. Now Lot lifted up his eyes. He saw the whole area here. And we see here behind us the Jordan Valley. And he saw that the Jordan Valley at that time was full of water before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt in the direction of Zoar. So Lot chose for himself all the Jordan Valley, and Lot journeyed eastward. And thus they separated from each other. And Abram settled in the land of Canaan, but Lot settled among the cities. And you see already there it's civilized, there is water, there's a garden in the valley of the Jordan. And pitched his tent down near Sodom, but the people of Sodom were wicked, great sinners against the Lord. Now, whether we like it or whether we don't like it, there is no judgment on Abram that he divided the land for the sake of peace. He actually did there something what we would call today, he gave up land in order to preserve the peace. And I just have to report that to you, like the Bible does, without saying now this was right or wrong. I personally think that we should consider both sides. Yes, the Lord promised this land to Abraham and his descendants, and Lot was not one of them. On the other hand, Abraham was to be a blessing for the people around, and in the end a blessing for all families of the earth. And he was ready to even sacrifice for the peace sake the land.